welcome to the Isle of Man. 37 3/4 around, 3/4 miles, 37 3/4 miles. It's a heck of a track, and it's going to be a heck of a race. I hope everybody's doing well out there. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is going to be hopefully one of the more fun ones. Wouldn't be lying to say that it's definitely a bit nerve-wracking, but this is going to be a pretty exciting race, I think. I hope. This is almost the entire reason I wanted to do this series, was to race here, race at the Targa Florio. We're going to be trying to do a time trial race today. So it's going to work a bit different. I know folks will be confused. I'll probably be confused at some point. But we're not really racing each other, although we'll all be on the circuit at the same time. We're racing the clock, and it's as close as we could possibly get to real TT racing. It's very close, I think. So it'll be fun to see. Hopefully it all works out, and we'll get this race in successfully. It's going to be so difficult to finish. But that's really going to be what's most important today, is finishing. We'll take a quick look through the championship as it is, because this is part of the historic road racing championship. It's round number 3. If you haven't been here so far, the first 2 races have been on more traditional circuits, I'd say. But the whole theme of this championship is road racing. All of the circuits are roads, something that we don't do a lot these days outside of street courses. These are real road courses, and this is really the meaning of it all, something like the Isle of Man. So we're here for round number 3. Championship so far is looking pretty good. I'll zoom in on this a little bit. There we go. So overall, things are looking pretty good, and they could look a whole lot better after today, for myself specifically. Try to get it so it's not cut off. OBS playing games with me already. Okay, you can almost see it. Why is it doing that? But so far, I'm in 2nd in the championship, so I'll try to fix this on the fly. There we go. Alright, so far I'm 2nd in the championship after 2 rounds. Championship is 6 rounds, but only 4. The top 4 results for each driver is what actually counts here at the end of the season. So after Dundrod, once we get to the Targa Florio, we'll start to drop races, and that could really change the whole thing. And a few drivers today are taking the drop race into their plans. So Jernej, who finished 2nd to me at Longford and won at Spa after having an accident halfway through, is not racing today. Enzo thought he might race, but didn't end up doing it, so he's not in the race today. So I'm sitting 2nd right now, and will likely, if I can score points today, and if I finish, I will score points today, at least in the 5-liter championship. I could be sitting pretty good after this one, but it's not really gonna play out until we start dropping some races. Juanmi is in the race today. Jackson is in the race today, and he is super fast. I think he's my number 1 to beat. Ascari's in the race today, and he's also super fast. Even though he's in a 3-liter car, I think he qualified 3rd, and so he'll be tough to beat today. Rijatsu's in as well. I think that's it for the overall standing. So likely we'll have a very different looking championship after this round today, but that's kind of the point of it to an extent, is all of these tracks are a bit different, and so somebody that can really master everything. Manufacturers Championship, not too much different obviously than the overall. Ferrari leading the way, and it's my job today to try to unseat them, because I'm driving the Jag. I think the only Jag in the race. We'll look at the starting grid in a second. Okay, Ascari's 2-liter. I should know that. Maserati in there as well, Gordini. And then for the first time today, we actually have a Lagonda in the race. in the 5-liter category, so that'll be interesting to see. We'll look at the results from the qualifying. I'll zoom in on this again. That's super out of date. There we go. All right, so this is the qualifying. Now, this race, we had pre-qualifying like you would normally expect at all of the rounds, except this one actually counted for your grid slot, because we will be calling off the driver starts one by one, 15 seconds apart. And so we will start in the order that we pre-qualified in. It's really qualifying for this one. Just checking some of the chat messages there. So I'll be starting second today. So Jackson got the quickest time, and it's an amazing time. Applaud to him. I don't know if I could do a 2:15. I think theoretically I could if I got like all best sectors. I think I was down to like a 2:10, but putting a lap together, or 20:15 and a 20:10. I think putting together a lap like that would be so tricky, and he was able to squeak in. We actually traded spots a bit yesterday in the final hours of the qualifying, so that was super exciting. But Jackson gets the pole. He's going to get some extra points because of that and everything. He'll be on the road first, so he's got a clear road, and he's quick. He's quicker than me, at least in qualifying pace. So we'll have to see how it plays out in race pace. Unlikely I will catch him though, unless he has some kind of accident or something. And then myself, I'll be starting second in the D-Type. I think the only D-Type that made the race. And then we have got Ascari in the 2-liter Maserati behind us. He's only 14 seconds off, which is a 20-minute lap to do one lap. So that's such a crazy time. I have to imagine if Ascari was driving a 5-liter car, he'd be quicker than all of us. Yeah, a 2-minute lap would be 300 miles per hour, probably. So Scooby then, and Nicholas. I think the first race for Nicholas in the Ferrari, if I'm not mistaken, although they could have been in another one. Looking back further, 2-liter Simon there in the Maserati. Matt Wright leading the 3-liter charge with the Gordini. A 20:48. I mean, all of these times we had 13 drivers under 21 minutes. If you could do an under 21-minute lap here in any car, never mind a 1950s sports car, you know your way around this course. So it's really, really awesome to see all the cars here. Everybody practiced so much and has really tried to learn this whole course as best they can. But even all the way through the grid, I think the slowest times are just in the 22s, which still is a very good lap time no matter the car. So it's just really, really good stuff. But 38 starters today. Martin Bear and Ervan kind of rounding out the starting podiums. Or actually, sorry, Mark Zeidler and Eduardo. That's right, Eduardo had a really good time early in the week. So it could be anybody's race today. Anybody could win. It doesn't matter where you start. And so I'll go over this. Hopefully this ends up making sense for folks. We'll take a look in the game here. We got 21 minutes left of the practice, and we'll have a quick 3-minute warm-up session, and then the race will start. We've got everybody but one in here right now. So it's actually looking pretty good. Wanmi just left, but maybe adjusting some graphic settings. So it's a time trial race today. All right, so it's your total lap time that is actually how we're going to score the results. There will be no way for us to tell in real time who's winning or not. So we'll kind of have to just go do the race and try our very best. And then we'll know who won after the race is over. So we'll calculate all the results. I'll hopefully be able to do that on stream here, at least get preliminary results from everybody once we're all finished. But it's your own lap, so it'll be sent off in 15-second increments, and as soon as you exit the pit lane, your race starts. And then from there, you have to do 6 laps as fast as you can, and once you cross the finish line after your 6th lap, your race is done. You'll see the race says 10 laps, but we just did that so that we don't run into any issues with the race ending too early. So it'll be 6 laps, and whatever your total cumulative time, including pit stops, including passing cars, and whatever you got to do along the way, that'll be your time for the race. And so somebody could start dead last, and if they just turn the best laps, they'll be the winners at the end of the day. We are starting in the same order we qualified in, so it's likely the winners will be up front, but you never know. I mean, somebody could just be really steady, a few leaders crash out, and they end up winning towards the back. So it'll be interesting. But I'm gonna go out and try to do. We don't have enough time to do a lap before the race starts, but I do want to do a few corners, make sure the stream looks good and sounds good and all that stuff as usual. We do have a broadcast for this race, and it's in the description of this stream. There's a link to it over on Aidan's channel. I very much appreciate Aidan and SimplyRace and them doing a broadcast for this. I think they don't really know how it's going to work out either. Just it's a bit in the dark with everything. But we're going to try our best here, and we'll certainly try to make a highlights reel and all that like usual, and see how it all works. So yeah, it's gonna, Dom, that's exactly right. It's gonna be about 2 hours long, this race. Just like the other ones, but, you know, all solo. It'll be slightly longer. So I'm hoping to do sub 21-minute laps. And we can see in this practice session, Jackson actually has done a 20:23. That's a fast lap. That's better. That's like right around qualifying pace. So if he can do that the whole race, I mean, I think he'll easily have it. I'm gonna drive pretty cautiously to try to get to the end. So it'll be really a struggle here. But all right, so we'll try to jump in the car. Should have everything working as usual. I've tried to set up some different UI stuff for this one so that you can at least follow my race. And for folks that aren't aware, because I just saw a message in the chat about it, I mean, this is the Isle of Man mountain course, and it's the same track that is used for the Isle of Man TT motorcycle race each year. And it's 37 miles, almost 38 miles around, and it pretty much circumvents the whole Isle of Man island. It doesn't quite go around the whole thing, but it's close. We'll wind our way out of the pits here. This is where the lap will start, just like it did for my current lap time. You should hopefully be able to see that, and let me know if you can't hear me or anything. Shift up the gears though. So hopefully, and I haven't been able to test this too much yet because I had some issues with it, but what I've got in the top right of your screen is, you know, the lap I'm on, you know, the current lap time versus my best lap time and all that stuff, so we can at least monitor my own pace. And then under that, if it works, fingers crossed, will be all of my lap times throughout the race. And I haven't been able to see if that'll work completely, so hopefully it's not just a black box the whole time. But I should have pretty clear road. I mean, it's just Jackson in front of me. Ascari definitely has the pace to catch me from behind. I'm definitely not going to be doing 20-minute, 20-second laps if I want to survive here, so hopefully I can do sub 20-minute laps, 21-minute laps, and finish clean. That's going to be the biggest thing of all. It's going to be a lonely race, though. We may not see another car the whole time. Come up to Union Mills here. I'm going to have to be super focused in this one, so definitely no chat reading for me during this, unfortunately. But yeah, things are feeling good. It's all sound good and everything, I hope. I'm following one of the cars here. I'm not actually sure who it is. I was thinking about, I had a relative box on for the last race, and I don't want to be tempted to push to try to catch anybody or anything. So I'm leaving that off for this one. I may only see one car, you're right. So enjoy this as I'm following another car here. We'll be able to power past them in the D-type. This is number 307. Come on, I'm supposed to pass you on the right. There we go. We're trying to have folks always pass on the right side. That's the rule. Now, we're not really going to penalize anybody if it works out that they pass on the left, but just to make it safer and that you don't have to guess, because this track is so narrow in a lot of spots. We want to just be understood that cars are going to pass on the right side. There's really no racing each other because you're not directly head to head, so that blocking and things like that are definitely penalized if you do it. All right, things are feeling good here. How much time we got left? 14 minutes. Probably gonna pull over up here next to what is this, Gribas? Won't catch whoever's behind me off guard. All right, so that's like the first 3 minutes of the 20-minute lap. Sound is great. Thanks for confirming that. Turn down the game a little bit. The cars are so loud when they go by. So it'll be a crazy race today to see if everybody's able to finish and all that. We'll take a look at Ascari here as the session's finishing. I'll give it a few minutes at least. Oh my God, he's got no head. But yeah, not really, probably not going to see many cars. There it is. That's interesting LOD. I did dial down some of the graphic settings a little bit during this because it's a long track, a lot of data, and definitely don't want things to like crash on me or anything like that during the race. Another car here. Richard. So, yeah, strategy for this one, 6 laps. We're running on accelerated fuel like we were for the last races. Same settings, everything. So, we'll be able to do 2 laps on a tank of fuel, which is kind of crazy to say, but we'll only be able to do 2 laps. And so every other lap I have to pit. So I'll just make 2 pit stops during the race, which is exactly like the other races. It just feels weird because it's such a low number of laps. But yeah, just take fuel both times. I won't need to change tires. I will have an opportunity to repair damage. You can get away with a surprising amount of contact depending on what type of accident you have. It's really like the telephone poles and the houses and things that will end your race instantly. And there's some bollards up on the mountain which are rock solid, so need to be avoiding any of those. But if you just hit a wall or a hedge or something, you probably can get away with it. The car will still drive, but the steering will be messed up or something. And you can pit to fix that. It does take a lot of time in the pits to fix it. But if we do scrub the wall at some point, it doesn't necessarily mean the race is over, but it does throw a wrench into things. It would likely mean the win is no longer possible. I think the winner is going to be whoever's able to do all 6 laps and not have any kind of crashes or anything like that. But 2 pit stops along the way. If everything works out as it should, I should pit at the end of lap 2 and the end of lap 4 and do 2 laps between, come across the line for lap number 6 and finish the whole thing. So it's going to be crazy. The Jag, I mentioned this in the last races, on low fuel, it is a tough car to drive. And so laps 2, 4, and 6 are going to be a lot harder than laps 1, 3, and 5. Just to get the car around the track, there's a big understeer problem with low fuel because the front nose gets super light on the car, and I'm worried about that. I think I'll be okay with making it through the even numbered laps coming out of the pits, but the odd numbered laps are going to be really hard. Yes, good luck, Rujatsu. Good luck to everybody in the race. I mean, I hope we get a strong number of finishers. We've been kind of going back and forth just on how many drivers we think are actually going to finish this. And no telling. I mean, there could be 5, there could be 20. We don't really know. If I was to guess, though, I think it's going to be in the lower numbers, because if we looked at Spa-Francorchamps, we had, I think, 39 cars start and only 16 finish. And that's an actual circuit. you know, that has corners that everybody can learn. So something like this, there's just so many ways it can go wrong. I think we're going to be in the single digits, maybe, in the finishers, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting one. All right, under 10 minutes to go. Under 10 minutes to go, and how the start's going to work. So, I hope we can pull it off. It's definitely going to be a bit, it's interesting. I don't think anybody's ever done a race like this, okay? So, hopefully it all goes well. We have tested this, you know, so we've done as much as we can to make sure it's going to work. But this is really the first time. This is really the first time that, you know, anybody's done a race like this, as far as I can see. I know there's been a few Targa Florios and things in different sims, but I think for R Factor 2 at least, this is a first. I could be wrong though, but we'll all miss the start. So we're gonna transition here in a second, or 8 minutes, to the warm-up session. Then after that, it'll go to the race session, and we will all miss the grid. So normally you get like 2 minutes to join the grid, and then you sit on the grid and go. But everybody's gonna just stay in this screen. That's the plan. And we'll let the countdown finish, and the race will actually start. The green flag will come out, and then we will start calling drivers to start. Because you can do a start from pit lane in a race. So that's the plan anyway, is to hopefully have us all start from the pit lane. And we'll go one by one. Ian, our race steward, is going to call off every driver to start in the order in 15-second increments. So he'll, you know, after, I think we're going to wait 1 minute after the start just to make sure everybody's ready to go. And then he'll call off Jackson to start. And then 15 seconds later, he's going to call me as well. And so on and so forth down the list. So it's that's the plan. That's how it's supposed to work. Hopefully it all works. I mean, very, very worst case scenario, I don't know. Like, maybe we'll restart it and do a standing start, but that would be terrible. Yeah, it should be, Fran. It should be as close to the bike race as we can do it. It's a tourist trophy event. They did race cars around this circuit in the early 1900s, right at the turn of the century, and then again in the 1920s, right after the First World War. So there is a little bit of a history of cars racing here, but obviously it's known for the bike race these days. And but we're very similar to that format. And it's a good format for a race like this. It's very similar to how the Targa Florio is run, and we'll also be doing the same format there. The car into the pits. Whoa, lock up the brakes. Pit lane entry is a little tricky here. There's no speed limit really, so it's all about you just slowing your car down in time. Well, yeah, Targa Florio is running this way, where it's, you know, incremental starts, and it's just based off lap time. So the clock starts when you start, and then it finishes when you finish, and then we look at everybody's times and figure out who won. All right, we got, I think, 37, so there's one car missing, but that's really good. Appreciate folks being here today. I really hope I can get through this whole race, but especially at least a few laps of it. I haven't DNF'd out of a race yet for the HRRC, knock on wood. So hoping to continue that trend today. If I can just get through the first couple laps and get a groove going, I think I'll be all right. But there's so much going on this week with this race that it's been distracting to say the least. But this one, you know, not only for just doing this race and but like generally I need to do well in this one to pick up some points in the championship, because I think Jernej, once he comes back for, I think he'll be here for Dundrod. I think there's another race going on today that a few folks are doing, so but I expect them to be back for some of the future races, and they're just so quick. I'm so surprised I was able to beat him at Longford, which really helped out my championship. But this today will be really important if I hope to win the championship for this at all. Could very much use the extra points and everything. Yeah, 4 minutes, and then a little bit of turnover time, and then the quick warm up, and then we'll be going. So there's a bit of time yet before everything starts. Just the anticipation is killing everybody, I know. Let me turn this up. Should be a busy weekend though. We got this today, and then tomorrow I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully. Should be, with some Goodwood online racing as well, so that'll be fun. That'll be a lot less serious than this, and just for fun. Kind of like I did last year. I'll join some folks and do a virtual Goodwood. I think we're racing the minis though this year, so no interesting car selection. We'll all be in minis. Good. Thank you for all the luck wishes to everybody. Yeah, definitely. I'll need good luck. So I know the course. I've been learning this track for a few years, on and off, and definitely in the last few months have really concentrated on it. And I would say my knowledge of the course is pretty good. I know where it goes, but there's a few sections of the course that really. You have to be on the right line. It's not only that you know the corners, but you have to be on the right spot of the track in order to actually make the corner correct. So I'm gonna probably talk myself through the race quite a lot today. It actually helps me concentrate, and so hopefully that's entertaining to hear just my thoughts going in. I won't be able to read the chat like I was saying during the race much, so try to talk myself through and make sure that I'm always thinking about what corner is coming up next, where the car needs to be, what gear I need to be in, and all that stuff to be able to do successful laps around here. So flickering and stuff doesn't matter as much today because we likely won't be seeing many cars during this one. There's just a lot of ways that things can go wrong. The D-Type has a chronic understeer problem, so if you don't get the car really set up for the corner and turn in aggressively and on the right spots, you can very easily just understeer. And there's not a lot you can do about it if the car is understeering. There we go, all 38 drivers are here, that's great. So just need to be aware there's a few sections of the track that you can easily have an accident in, and I'm going to be taking those sections specifically pretty easy just to make sure I get through them all right. Thank you, Andre. Everything is good in Brazil. Never been to Brazil. I'd like to go someday. Just gonna write a quick message to everybody. Everybody's making fun of. For this one, I actually made a little video just for the league members to review how the starts are going to work, and I made it as clear as I think I could with flashing words and everything to not grid the car. So we'll see if everybody does that. I really hope all 38 of us can start without any issues, and there's no issues, but the sections of the track are the entire track. Yeah, somewhat. There's a lot of track to be careful on, but there's a few sections that you can go flat out, and that makes the lap easier when you know, alright, these are all the flat sections. Yeah, I'm on a single monitor. It's an ultra wide. You're seeing the same, everything that I'm seeing, you're seeing today. I have the full ultra wide display on. Alright, so the practice has ended, and we'll be going into the warm-up session now. This song is called Blue Mood. It's all of the music I use on YouTube. It's part of YouTube's music library. So, yeah, this one's called Blue Mood. And I think it's kind of it's a song that a lot of people have recorded. But this is one version of it. It's quite nice. Alright, so best of luck to everybody today. If I can't win, I hope whoever wins has a nice run to the win. But I do hope I can at least put on a show for a few laps, if not, do the whole thing pretty well. Alright, so we will have this little warm-up session. We're keeping everything the same timing-wise. Because we didn't need a practice or a qualifying session for this one today since we already qualified, so we did an hour practice up front instead. I like the Goodyear hat. Yes, it's a good one. Oh yeah, if you do YouTube stuff, and I think anybody can actually, do this. But if you go to YouTube, I think like the creator site, studio.youtube.com, there's a song library, and it's all royalty-free stuff, and you can use it in videos, and you don't get any kind of copyright strikes or anything. It's a limited selection, so it's not perfect. Oh, we had one driver drop out. He should be able to join before the 2 minutes is up here. But yeah, the switching sessions, R Factor 2 is fickle, to say the least. And the loading between sessions is pretty heavy on a computer, so hopefully he's able to jump back in. Alright, I gotta actually do race stuff here. So I've got my setup. I'm running almost identical setup to Spa. Funny enough, I mean, if you think about the tracks, maybe you don't know this one yet, but you will. They're very similar. They're very similar, the two tracks, so the setup itself is really not the most important part. You just want something that's easy to drive, but that yeah, setup works well, and it's more just about making sure to drive the car in a good way. I also hope I won't be in a blue mood after this one. I'll be gutted if I crash out early. I'll be gutted if I crash out at all, but like if I make a silly mistake and crash on lap 1, it will be very, very, very disappointing. Alright, so we have just a minute left here. Messages all over the place. Alright, so let's get everything ready here. We'll pause the music, it just finished the song anyway, and switch over to racing view. Alright, so I'll be starting pretty close to the start here. And I'll be right up near the front. I'll just have Jackson on the road in front of me. We may hit cars at some point, if somebody's pretty slow and I'm going quick.
Attention, all non-essential personnel, leave the
we go. The classic message. Alright, it's loading the race session. Hopefully this all works. I'm so nervous about the start of this one to make sure it all goes correctly. Yeah, pole position is first, so Jackson will be off the grid first. Oh, thank you, Fran. Yeah, first lap is all about getting a good groove going, getting around the whole track. Oh, things are all stalled and frozen. I hope it loads. I still hear the sound, at least. Come on. Oh, there we go. Alright, it loaded. Alright, so wow, that took forever to load, but just double check my setup. It took so long to load. Alright, there goes the start. You can hear it. Hopefully nobody started. And now we'll be starting to call drivers off here for the race. Yeah, it says there's 10 laps, just so that the race doesn't end early. And, or anything like that. Alright, Ian's doing the ready for Jackson. You can hear him revving his engine. Once Jackson gets the go, I will get the ready to jump in my car and get it started and all that. And then we'll be on our way here for Isle of Man, round 3. So long, ready. All right, jump in the car here, get it started. Trying to roll out of my pit box. All right, and just wait for the go signal, and then I will start my race here. You can see Reese there, Southpaw Racer in front, just in that 330 there, number 330. All right, should be any second now. 15 seconds feels like a long time when you're just sat here. Oh, thanks for the super chat, Grindhouse. All right, here we go. We'll start round number 3. Just get out of the pits. The clock isn't on just yet, so I just need to get out of the pits and then we'll start. I want a good run here. Exit the pits. There we go. We're on our way. Lap time started. Lap number 1 of 6. It says I'm on lap number 2 for some reason, so that's super weird. We'll need to go 7 laps then. We know we're on lap number 1. Through Bray Hill here, the bottom of the hill. Alright, just gotta focus and get up to Quarter Bridge. Get off the brakes pretty early here, down to 2nd gear before the crest. Down to 1st gear at the sandbags there. You almost need to come to a stop here just to get the car to turn. Very tentative here in the first corners. Come through some of the S's. So we'll get up to the fastest section of the course. We'll get up the gears and come up to Union Mills here. This is a really tricky section. A lot of time to be gained if you're pushing for a lap, but we'll take it easy. over to the S's here. I need to get a really good exit out of here as this gets us onto the straightaways to Crosby. I wish I could hide the message, but I'm sure there's a way to do that, but just ignore it for now. Hopefully everybody's getting started and able to get away from the grid. Alright, flat out through here, and we'll come up to Balagary. It's a really scary corner. This Guy Martin had a huge accident here. We'll lift off right at the hedges, dab of the brakes, turn it in, then on the throttle. Get the car to turn. Alright, up the gearbox. Fourth gear, this will be the fastest part of the track. We'll hit 170 miles per hour towards the end of this straight section through Crosby flat, dip it towards the wall on the inside, nice and straight. Try not to scrub off much speed on the turns. We'll get a little bit of air up here over a crest, but want to keep your foot in it. Keep the revs high. It's just quick enough you won't over rev the car. There we go. You gain a mile per hour doing that. All right, rush down the hill here. And now to one of the first sections a lot of folks crash at when you first start practicing this one. Down to third, down to second. Hopefully I don't do the same. It's a really tricky spot. Plant the car through here and being really careful on the throttle. Over a rise, we'll get it up to third gear. Through some S's. Easy to wash out wide here. So slow. So much slower than a qualifying lap. Alright, second gear. I think this is Griva's Castle, if I'm not mistaken. Really long corner, but then flat now. Yeah, hopefully the trees are definitely going to be rough on the video stream. Alright, we'll come out to Ball of Crane though. I lifted there, you don't need to lift there. Look for the bridge right here. This is where I let off the throttle hard on the brakes, down to second gear. Down to first. Try to curve it in. A lot of folks crash there too. Oh man, why did I slide so much? Held onto the car though, I didn't hit anything, but that was quite a slide compared to usual. Alright, work it down the hill now. Already a close call there. This is a tricky one. It's so easy to miss this corner. Still starting the cars. Should be about 10 minutes to get everybody going here. And remember, it doesn't matter where you start, it's all about your total lap time. Alright, come down to Laurel Bank, first gear. Understeer a lot there. This is a tricky section. The car feels really skatey right now. So we're just gonna try to make it really easy movements. Don't want to slide the car around too much. Double right-hander here. I missed the second apex. It's fine. Come to Glen Helen. Bit of a narrow entry to it, but it's alright. We'll get it up the hill and head towards Kankivadi. Up to second gear here. Alright, flat out now. Kankivadi, another flat out section, but a little more scary than Crosby was. We'll have a few rises and definitely a courage part of the circuit, we'll call it. Come over a rise here, flat foot. Just be careful over the bumps, the car gets upset a bit. Now come to this right-hander. Need to be careful on it. You can actually keep it flat there. I chickened out a bit, but then down to second gear to the right side of the circuit, curve into the left on the throttle to get the car to rotate. You come up to, what is this, Hanley's. This is such an easy place to crash the car. There's a stone wall on the right side, which if you touch, you'll split you wide into a very abrupt banking. Alright, up the gears, third gear. Come around to Barragero. It's a very, very famous part of the course. Dip off the accelerator for the entry to it. Turn it in early. And then hard on the accelerator. You can go flat here if you're really daring. Get it up to fourth gear. Serves as a lift. Do tentative there on the first lap. Through the bottom of the Barragero. Now we'll come around this left-hander. Easy corner up here to miss. Down to second gear. I don't even know the name of this one. But just easy one to run wide on. And then another tricky down the hill. You want to miss the first apex and get the second one here. Here we go. Still a bit tentative. Very much just trying to keep the car in one piece right now. Alright, we'll come to Kirk Michael then. Famous town that we'll go through. Starter should be almost over. Try to go flat through the town here. Third gear. Whiz past all the buildings. Coming to the exit of the town, there's a few tricky ones. Let off pretty early there, but get it through the left-hander. Past the petrol shop. Right. Over this rise and then hard on the throttle. Just need to keep it narrow. We'll jump over a hill here, and now we're on the run to Bala Bridge, the famous leap, but this part of the track is all flat if you've got enough courage for it. Just try to keep it on the right line. You have to take the right line through here to actually make it flat. I lifted there. You don't need to lift. Alright, this is the first tricky one. Just not feeling quite as confident in the car as I need to, so I'll do some courage lifts. We'll come to the final right-hander. There we go. Settle it in. Now, Bala Bridge, you can go through here so much faster than the bikes can. Down to second gear. Hard on the brakes for the jump. There we go. Nice little leap. The car takes it really well. There's no real suspension damage or anything. Third gear then. Left-hander here is not too bad on a full tank, but is really tricky. Really tricky once you're on low fuel. That one will be tough the second lap. We come to the quarry bends. Look for the red sign on the left. Slow it down. I'm curious what this lap is going to be because I'm going quite slow. Just don't have a lot of confidence in the car right now. Up the gears, third gear there. Flat onto the Sulby straight. Fourth gear. Alright. Now I need to look for my braking marker for Sulby Bridge. Just before this telephone pole on the left. Hard on the brakes, third gear, second gear. Use the engine to slow the car down all the way down to first. Alright, first gear then. Onto the Sulby Bridge. Miss the apex just a little bit there. Slide the car a bit. Come flat to Ginger Hall. Rolling the car there quite a bit. Just get into the corner. You can go a lot faster in this section than it looks like, but it's really tricky, bumpy section of the course now. This tight left-hander. As long as we get the early turn in, we're all right. All right, now over the bumps. And I hate this part of the track. It's just really bumpy, but also a couple tricky corners. Up to third gear. There's a triple left-hander coming up, which is quite easy to get wrong, but it also sets up the next couple of corners, which are some of the easiest to crash it, even when you're careful. Alright, triple left-hander, remember to brake right at the sign. Second gear, get the car nice and slow down to first. Alright, dip it in. Tight left-hander, just an easy place to bin it. They're still starting cars. So we're just over 10 minutes into my lap. So we're a little over halfway around. Now we'll work towards Parliament Square. It's a bit like a rally, this one, so it's like halfway between circuit racing and rallying, where you need to be careful, but you don't have a co-driver. Alright, come over the leap here into Schoolhouse Corner. There we go. Come around. Easy to miss this corner. Break between the two little signs on the left, down to second gear. Use a little bit of extra pavement there, and then now into Ramsey. So easy to just slowly hit the wall in front of you here. This car does not like to turn at slow speed. Get on the accelerator and wind our way through Ramsey. Alright, hopefully everything's going well and looking good. Haven't seen any chats in my quick glances. Left-hander here is much tighter than you think it would be. I can't believe we're still starting cars. We have to be close to the end. Alright, come to the right. We'll come out to the Ramsey hairpin. This is one you'll see in a lot of photographs. Another one that's just very, very easy to understeer straight off. The entry almost looks comically slow, but get the accelerator down and now work it up the hill. Up to second gear then. Come to Waterworks. There's two corners here. First one is a little bit faster, although take it easy. Second one, very, very tight, much tighter than you think it would be. Apex is super late. There we go. 3 left to start. Alright, we're getting there. Hopefully everybody got off the grid. I didn't see a ping I got from Discord. Hopefully nothing major. Oh man, I thought I was gonna bottle up in a gooseneck there. Gotta stay concentrated. It's easy to give yourself a momentary lapse. Alright, come up to gooseneck then. Another hairpin. This will get us onto the mountain. Hopefully the picture will look a little bit better through here without all the trees. Starters are leaving. That's good. Now we just gotta actually do the event, do the race. Second gear then. Onto the mountain section. Really easy to just understeer off a corner through this section. It's a very fast part of the course for this first right-hander. So slow entering that. We're all right. The gears then. This one's a little bit faster. Triple left-hander. Come through a squiggly bit. Now those bollards that you see, little white posts, they will end your race instantly if you hit one. They do not move. Alright. Come to the left-hander though, and this right will lead us onto the mountain mile. Get it up the gears. I suppose we'll get a gap to Jackson. We'll get a retiree. I think I saw one other car leave as well. Ryan Kane. I think Ryan is from Isle of Man. That's really unfortunate to have something happen early on. But Mountain Mile here, it's flat out. There's a couple corners, but you can take them flat here. And then we'll come to Black Hut, which is, or the corner before Black Hut. I think it's called First Mountain Hut. This turn is really tricky. Get it down to second gear. You need to do the first apex, or at least I do. Get on the throttle, just stay away from the bollards. I'm gonna take a very conservative line there. Slide the car a bit, it's alright. Get it up to third gear. Come to the second Mountain Hut. This one, dab of the brakes, turn it in a bit faster. Then we come to Black Hut. Pretty non-corner, but you can understeer if you get the entry wrong. There we go. Now we get a triple right-hander. Once you get past the second apex, you can floor it. It's conservative through there as well. Through this right-hander, brake right at the sign, down to second gear. We'll head up to the bungalow here. So we're literally coming over the mountain right now, and we're going to head back down to Douglas, where we started the race. In a second. We'll come through the bungalow, though. This is where you can take a tram to the top of the mountain. Be kind of a fun spot to go see the bikes. All right, come through. There's a tram line right there. Nice and easy. Almost clipped that sandbag, but we're all right. Yeah, the super bikes are a lot quicker. In 1954, though, motorcycles did 25-minute laps around here, so we're faster than they were. All right, now we got a sequence of tricky corners, mostly because they have bollards next to them. I just don't want to understeer, man. Even something like that can end your race if you're just a little too tentative with it. This one's a bit faster, I think, but the third apex is the tightest one. There we go. We'll come down to Windy Corner. I always have a lot of crashes here. I don't know why. But we'll take it extra slow down to first gear to get the car really woed down, keep it on the right side of the road. The track just feels slippery through there. Second gear here. Just a couple more left-handers to go before we get off the mountain. Last one straight ahead. Down to second. This one's a first gear. Past Kate's Cottage. With a tank slapper, we're all right. All right, there's Kate's Cottage. We'll come through a flick to the left here and set us up towards Craigneyba. I believe it's a pub. Seems like an awesome pub. Hard on the brakes right after that sign. Down to first gear once again. This is another one of these. Just easy to understeer off. We use the extra pavement to the right. Arc it in. Get on the accelerator early. There we go. Alright. Towards the end of the lap now. And I'm exiting. I'm going to barely get a 20-second lap, or 20-minute lap. Looking right at a 21 flat right now, I think, but it's all right. We're safe so far, a couple close calls. Second gear here for this one. Forget the name of it, but it's quite tricky. Easy to understeer into the bank there to the right. Get it up the gears then. All right, Brandish Corner to the right here, I believe it's called, or that might have been Brandish. Third gear, turn it in. It's a fast one. I could go a lot faster there, to be honest. But well and truly towards the end of the lap now. Come up to signpost corner here to the last left. Second gear, first gear. All right, signpost corner. Track looks like it goes straight on, but curve down to the right. There's a few insanely tight hairpins here right at the end of the lap that are just kind of unbelievable. I don't know how you get a bike through them, never mind a full-size car. First gear here. I overdid it a bit. I did one lap this morning to prepare just to get ready for today. And I overdid it into this final corner here. Down to Governor's Bend. Such a tight right-hander and a left-hander as well. This will get us back onto the front straightaway. So, I made a lap. I don't think this is a very good lap, but at least made one. Have over a half tank of fuel, so we're going to do another lap now. Past the start-finish line, we'll get our first time. Hey, it worked. So 20:44.162. For lap number one. I'm okay with that. If I can do that for the whole race, I think we'll be in a pretty good spot by the end of it. Alright, come to Bray Hill. We're a lot faster this time though, so take it easy on the entry, get a nice early turn in through the bottom of the hill. You can go flat there on a qualifying lap, but it's so risky. A second gear for Porterbridge. This is a tricky one because lap number one, it's hard to get the car slowed down. Lap two, it seems to slow down quite easy. I think the brakes are warm. 3/4 bridge. So if you've never been around the Isle of Man before, that was a full lap. And by the end of this, hopefully you'll have seen or understand the course a bit better. I think you'll definitely learn something here if we make it the whole way. Right, down to first gear for Baden Bridge. Nice and tidy. No idea what kind of lap times anybody else turned. I don't really care, to be honest. There's nothing I can do about it, so it's just all about focusing in on my pace, my laps. It's a different type of racing. It's not like head-to-head racing. I think I've got enough raw pace to do pretty well here, so just need to do clean laps. Stick with it. Come through Union Mills, though. Get up on the curbs. Alright, settle ourselves towards Crosby. I'm gonna do my pit strategy here while we're on the straight. Because it doesn't let you set things like tires and everything in the garage. But yeah, we got no damage yet, which is good. We're going to do a full tank. No tires. We shouldn't need them. We'll check that again right before the end of the lap. This is a good opportunity to look at that. All right, right at the hedge here, off the throttle, on the brakes a little bit, get it turned in. You can clip that curb on the inside, and actually, it's not a bad way to do it. Your house is coming up on the left. Yeah, I'm only on lap 2. For some reason, the lap counter is 1 off, but we're only on lap 2 right now, so we've got 5 full laps to go, pretty much. I think it's just a byproduct of missing the start. We'll have to. At least we made the race 10 laps, so we won't have to worry about it finishing early for us. All right, come to the end. This is where stuff starts to get tricky. 3rd gear. 2nd gear. I'm just taking it extra careful over the bumps. On a qualifying lap, you would keep your foot in it and deal with whatever happens with the car, but that's the stuff that can really send you into a wall. For this one, I'm just nice and gently 3/4 throttle through this left-hander. I want to keep it to the left side so we can turn in nice with this long right-hander towards Griba's. Very late apex here, Griba's Castle. Try to do ball of crane a bit better. This is where I had my scary moment, lap number 1, with the oversteer. Flat that time through there. That's better. The car feels really good right now, but towards the end of this lap, the fuel is going to make it feel terrible. 2nd gear here, 1st gear. Slide it. You can slide it, but there we go. That's much better that time. Well, 5 seconds on my first lap, and I'm going to try not to watch that. Whoa, right to the inside. It just clipped the bank, but it's all right. Get it up the gears then. Right at that green sign, shift it down to 2nd gear and turn in. Can't really see where the track goes. We just have to hope it's still there. Easy to understeer there. I thought I was going for the outside wall for a second. Bit of a tank slapper mid-turn. It's always nice. Alright, Laurel Bank here down to 1st gear. Car is starting to dance a bit. You can see it just light fuel. It's just not as stable. Take it easy through this whole Glen Helen section. Double right-hander here. Still missed the second one. I did that last lap too. Flat through this left-hander if you're on it. And then brake for the second one. You see the white hay bales, you're too late. Right, through Glen Helen then, up the hill. This is Sarah's cottage in front of us. Will get us up onto the Concavati again. To 2nd gear then. It's slow on. You need to get a good launch out of there because this is such a fast straight. Oh, Martin Bear. That's no good. That's unfortunate. Martin just had a little bit of time to prepare for this. I think he was traveling. All right, flat out through the end of Concubati then. A little bit of a jump. Jump there too. Lift before the right-hander. I just can't keep my foot in it there. You can normally do it. All right, and then the long left here. Handleys again, second gear. Just dip the grass. It's just you want to cut that right-hander, but the wall is right there, and if you just so much as nick it, it'll push you wide, and there's a wall waiting for you right in the sandbank. Right, up the throttle here for the top of Barragero. Shift up to fourth. I just can't keep my foot in it. I want to try to do it before the race is over. You can go flat there in this car at least. I don't think it's possible in the Ferrari. Right. Tricky double left. Second apex is the one we want. There we go. We'll come to Kirkmichael. So I'm a little bit up on my last lap, but it's slowly coming down. But I've found second, fourth, and sixth laps are going to be slower just because the fuel in the car, I can't push it quite the same way. And then the rest of my out laps are going to contain the pit stop time, so not a lot I can do about that. Come up to the end of Kirkmichael here. That left-hander definitely can catch you out. Crew's ready for pit stop. It's kind of weird. A little too early, boys. Still got 10 minutes in this lap. Bit too wide there. Have to sacrifice the exit. We'll head to Bala Bridge now. Yeah, sorry if the video is a little crunchy this time around. The trees on this track, I have the same settings as I usually do for all of these streams, but the trees just murder bitrate. I can't really go up anymore on that, so. We'll come to this right-hander. There we go, flat this time through. Final right-hander here. This one's a bit tighter. Just get a nice early turn in. You can see the car just takes it. And then hard on the brakes for Bala Bridge. Had a bit of a big jump lap to one here. Not too bad on lap 2. Nate as well. I hate that we're going to see folks DNF, but there's probably going to be a few DNFs. Alright, this left-hander is not quite so easy on lap 2. I'm very slow for it, so it's not too bad. All of the jumps, you just need to be going straight. If you're turning, you can really slide around and spin out and stuff. Go up to the quarry bends, then dip it in, third gear, keep it tidy to the right side of the track, down to second gear, and you want some of the curb there. I totally missed it that time, so we're just going to have a bad run onto Sulby Straight. You actually want to get up onto the curbing a little bit to help turn the car. The curbs seem to have a little extra grip. Keep it in third. I should have kept it in third down here first lap. It's not worth the shift time. Just before this late pole on the left. Hard on the brakes here for the Sulby Bridge. Right to almost locking them up, but you need to do that to get the car slow. Very late apex onto the bridge itself. There we go. Nice little slide on the way up. Past Ginger Hall. I assume that's the red building. Is Ginger Hall itself. Right, come onto the bumpy section, and now that the car is light, it's going to be even trickier than last lap. There we go, over a little rise. Alright, I hate this section. I'll say it every lap, just because I need to remember how tough it is. Triple left-hander into hard braking, second gear, and then first. Doesn't look so hard when you get it right, but there's just a lot of ways to get it wrong. Back on the gas. So we're on lap 2. For anybody just tuning in, where the lap counter is a bit broken. It thinks we're an extra lap in, but through this right-hander here, just need to keep focused as we head to Schoolhouse. Car is very understeery now. I don't know if you can tell. You turn in and nothing happens. So I'm taking it a bit easier even than last lap. All right, straight on now. Remember to brake for Schoolhouse. To Parliament Square. Alright, the adrenaline of starting this is worn off, and this is going to be a tiring race, I think. Just the mental, even if it's not maybe so physically challenging, it's the mental, just remembering everything every lap. It's quite a lot. I'm happy it's in the morning for me. Through Ramsey then, tight left-hander. Really on the brakes. I'm coasting a little too much. I need to be a bit more aggressive on entries. Second gear for the long right-hander up to the hairpin. Down to first. Just roll it nicely through Ramsey hairpin. There we go. A lot of wheel spin. Car just doesn't want to grip up. There we go. To Waterworks then. Waterworks 1, faster. Waterworks 2 down to first gear, very, very late apex. Right to the inside. Almost scrubbed the inside there, so it kind of kicked me wide, but alright, up to Gooseneck this time, and I don't want to do what I did last lap. I've died on this left-hander quite a few times. There's a nice wall there, waiting for you. Come through this chicane. Down to first gear for Gooseneck itself. Whoa, a lot of wheel spin. Alright, get it up onto the mountain. And lap 2 on the mountain is the hardest section in my opinion. Just because we don't have a lot of extra weight to help get the car to grip up. Alright, come to the left-hander here. Yeah, I was way too slow coming in. It's alright. Better to be slow than fast, I guess. There's a lot of that understeer. Onto the mountain mile. Alright. Try to relax when I can on some of these faster sections. Now I'll say I've never actually done 6 laps in a row here, but mostly because I'll stop after 2 laps. Since it's 2 laps over and over and over again. But I never actually have done this full race distance, so it'll be interesting to see how it all works out. Just a lift there for confidence. Alright, come up to the left-hander, down to second gear. I'm surprised we haven't seen more DNFs yet, which is good. I don't want to see DNFs, but we've had a small handful over the first lap, but it seems like probably over 30 cars have made it through lap 1. right-hander there. Dip on the grass just a little bit. Black cut here. Down to second gear. Come to the bungalow. It's a fun word to say, if nothing else. Slide it in. You can run quite wide there sometimes, depending on the line you take. I actually like the line I just got quite a lot better. For some reason, once in a while, I'll just forget this corner's here, and there's really no saving it if you miss it. Good through there, though. Just gotta remember that corner after bungalow. I almost felt myself doing that this time. Second gear. I wish, I want to go so much quicker through all this, and I know I can, but I just can't take any risks. Take a risk in thinking, oh, that's that corner, and then it's not, because that'll just end the race. Coming to windy corner. What am I saying last lap through there? It's just such a tricky one. I always crash through there. All right, third gear. Half, three-quarter throttle. This is a faster section, but you can stay well clear of the bollards. You can probably sense I'm afraid of them because they absolutely end the race. There's no hitting those and getting away with it. All right, down to first. Go up to Kate's cottage again. Head off the mountain. Alright, so we're going to be pitting this time. Second gear. First for Craigney Ba. We may see Jackson in the pits, but I don't know if he's like way quicker than me. I know he has the capability to go 30 seconds quicker than I've done on the last lap. So we may not see him at all, I don't know. Here, hard on the brakes, down to second gear. Alright, this is my pit stop. I don't know why it requests my pit stop so early. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. And to the bottom of the hill then. Head up to signpost. Unrequested and then re-requested the pit stop, so hopefully that fixes it and I don't get a massive delay. It would really ruin things. Alright, down to first gear for signpost, lock up the brakes just a little bit, tiptoe in, there we go, cruise ready for pit stop. So not going to change tires, we're going to take full fuel. We don't have any damage to fix by some miracle. Up to Governor's Bend. Hard on the brakes here. I'm going to skid a bit wide. It seems like you're going so slow and then that happens. It's just very easy to run wide. But not too bad. Alright, come out of the front straightaway again. So ending lap number 2. I'm still in the race. So major accomplishment number 1. We'll jump in the pits. I desperately need some water. This opportunity for that. Braking a bit tentative here, just spot my pit entry. I don't see anybody else in the pits. Alright, stop, come on. Oh man, it still picked me up. I slid past it a bit. All right, we got 42 seconds, so man. Just 10 seconds faster on lap number 2, which is good. I appreciate folks tuning in for this. It's hopefully interesting to watch. There's so much practice has gone into this. It's a lot of work to remember. But there's Ascari. That's Ascari in the pits. Might be the one car we see the whole race. So hello, Ascari. There we go. Pit crew's done. And we'll leave. So we've already started our next lap. So we're going to be about a minute slow. So this one will end up being, if we do a good lap, or 21:30 or so because of the pit stop. Right, get it up the gears and just back into concentration. We're not even halfway there. This is the halfway lap. Come through Bray Hill though. So it's a bit of a weird, it's different than the start of the race. I've got warm brakes and tires to an extent, but full fuel again. So it's kind of like a third condition that the car will be in. Down to first gear here. Come down the quarter bridge. It easy, make sure I can feel the grip, but this should be a better feeling for this car on this lap, especially once we get through the first few corners, burn off a little bit of that fuel. Right, down to first gear, locked it up a bit into Baden Bridge. We're all right. All right, up the gears. We'll see what kind of lap I can put together here, but I still need to drive carefully. But I'm happy I got through the first stint at least. Down to second gear. The weeds slapping you in the face a little bit. All right, come through Union Mills to try to get this last apex. I've never ever gotten that corner 100% correct because I think you'd want to be on the throttle at the top of that hill, but it's just hard to get the car position right. That was one of the better times I've done it. Yeah, we're running, I probably said it before, but we're running 3 times fuel burn for all these races, and that just makes sure there's some pit stops, because you could probably easily do this race and the others without stopping if we didn't have that. And then, just brake for Bolligary. There you go. And then, we're running no tire acceleration. I'm not a big fan of tire acceleration in sims because it makes, you can run a car that has low fuel or burns fuel more quickly. You can still run it realistically. If you have tires that burn extra quick, things like slides or a spin really trash your tires much more than maybe they would in real life. So, in my opinion, not as fun to do accelerated tire burn. On ovals, it's a bit different. That can be fun too. There. But yeah, 3 times fuel burn, same tires, so we won't need to change tires. Nobody will change tires unless they get a puncture or something. All right, down to second gear. Just nice and gently through the S's. Believe you me, on a fast lap, it's just all sliding through there and full throttle. And Jackson's able to do that for 6 laps, you know, he deserves to win this. I don't think I could, and that's why I'm driving a little more tentatively. I just don't think I could make it through this race driving like I'm qualifying, but more power to him if he can. It would be really impressive. Oh, Simon's out. Simon's one of the quickest cars, and I forget if he's 2 or 3 liter, but he was up front most of the week. All right, flatten out a ball of crane. The bridge here it is, on the brakes, just over the hump, down to second gear, down to first before the sign, well before the sign. There we go. Get up to second just before this turn in, and then milk the throttle through there. Double right-hander, car loves to slide through there, just control it. We're not sliding today. It's an anti-slide run. Second gear, down the hill. A little bit slower than I needed to be there. I want to keep it on the center line. I found it's just easy to understeer straight into that stone wall on the left. Into the first gear. Nice and easy does it through the Glen Helen section. Now, this is an area where you can definitely end your race here, but it's actually pretty easy to have an accident which just bends the steering, which would be no fun because you're a good 3/4 of a lap away from the pits. Whoa, Reese, no! That's Southpaw Racer. Reese has been practicing for this for weeks and weeks. Oh, that's super disappointing. I feel bad for him. Anybody that crashes out of this, I just know how much work everyone's put in to learn the track. The fact that we had 38 of us get through these curves here. Alright, get it on to Conky Body. The fact that we had 38 cars that were quick enough to qualify is just remarkable. Yeah, I'm so disappointed that Reese crashed out. I hope it wasn't anything like the game crashing or something like that, but still, none of it feels good, especially this early on. At least he got through maybe a lap or two. All right, over some of the rises, come to the right-hander here. Out of second gear. Just trying to get it nicely through the left-hander. You can see there's just a lot more speed to be had through there. To the bridge, up to Handley's. You know my thoughts on this one by now. Just not a good corner. Not a fun corner. Third gear at the top, Barragero. The run into that corner always scares me. Through the bottom, then up to fourth gear. Still lifted. Can't do it. It's alright. It's not losing me that much time. Just the confidence. A bit late on the downshifts there. Whew. I'll get it slowed down. Really revved it in second gear, but I needed to get the car slowed down. The gears are much better at slowing the car down than the brakes. Yeah, we'll be doing 6 laps, and the lap counter is unfortunately wrong. I'm on my 3rd lap right now. I'll fix that for the next one. Alright, flat out now through Kirkmichael. Down to second for a lot of this up until just a couple days ago, but I think third's much better. Get a nicer run here on this run to Bala Bridge. This is the big courage section. We should be able to do all this flat up to the bridge. Just gotta get the right line. Long right-hander there, but the camber helps you out. Alright, come to the really tight right at the house. I think it's got a name. Can't remember it right now. Some cottage. White House, maybe. Alright, come to the right-hander here. Right to the inside. Just don't want to bounce off the wall. Right after the Bala sign on the brakes. In a second. Alright, I did that flat, so that's good. Over the jump. Good bounce. For some reason, these cars don't really get damaged from that type of jump. I think in real life you would not do the leap quite so aggressively. This tight left-hander here. do it flat if you're really pushing over the jump, over the rise. Alright, coming to the quarry bends. I messed this one up last lap. I missed the curb. Try to get it this time though. Third gear right now, on the brakes a bit. Turn in, get back on the accelerator, help it turn. Down to second gear. Now aim it for the curb. There we go. That's much better. Still a little late on the accelerator, but that's the line. Up to third gear. Alright, on the Selby straight now. This is definitely the hardest sim racing thing I've ever done. Alright, come to the braking. Oh no, Ascari! That's what, 4th or 5th in points. And the car that started right behind me, he's out. Hope there wasn't an issue in the pits or something. Oh, and Frank as well. Alright, starting to have some cars drop out. I know Frank worked really hard to get into the race. He was a bit slow for the first couple days, but was able to reel in that time. A couple more cars out. Oh no, Simmad Paul as well. This was his first race with us. That was a bit wide through that right-hander. I gotta stay focused. I just can't help but read some of the retirements. Alright, this section, I hate it. I say it on every lap. I hate this section so much. Alright, left-hander here. There we go. Triple, and hard on the brakes. It was a bit later than the last laps. We're alright though. Down to first. Down the accelerator here. There we go. We'll run towards Schoolhouse. Still a tough section, this. It's just really bumpy. The car's a bit more planted, though, on this lap with the extra fuel. This one can be tough if you're entering wrong. It's kind of tight there. Alright, come to final one, as I think of it, before Schoolhouse corner. A little bump here. You kind of want to start turning right as you land. Kind of land sideways if you're good. Alright, back to Schoolhouse then. We made it to Ramsey one more time. And on the brakes. Past Ramsey Motors in Parliament Square. So I'm about a minute off my best lap so far. But it's because we did pit at the start of this one. Oh, just dipped the curb. Alright, coming to the first waterworks. Turn in a bit too early. Correct mid-corner, slide wide. This one's tricky up to Gooseneck. The turn in. There we go. Nice, tidy on the curbs. And the first gear for Gooseneck itself. It feels so slow through there. I mean, I don't know how much faster you can really take this car through the slow stuff. It does not like slow corners. Alright, up the gearbox. A little bit of a lift there as we head onto the mountain again. bit more through that right-hander this time. Second on the run-up. Right, onto the mountain mile. Third time. Right to the edge. Yeah, it's a lot of engine braking in this car. It's at least how I've found to drive it. The Ferrari in this car drives so differently. I have to say, around a track like this, the Ferrari is quite a bit more fun to drive. But I don't think it's necessarily quicker. They're just quick in different ways. But there's a few corners where I know I can go flat and the Ferrari can't, and vice versa. So they really just are different cars, which is cool. But Jackson seems to be doing really well so far. I mean, we haven't seen him yet, which is always a good sign, and I think he was quite far up the road from me, so it's good on him. Just keep our pace. I'm pretty happy with the pace so far. It's a bit tentative. I'm sure I'll look back on it and think, oh, I could have pushed more here or there, but it's I'm making it right now, so that's the most important part. We'll slide through there. More conservative this time. It's a little too close to the inside. Don't want to understeer off on the exit. Hard braking there down to second gear. Keep it tidy right against the stone wall on the inside. Out to Bungalow. Whoa, I hit the dirt just a little bit. It's alright. Right out to the edge. Try not to clip that sandbag there. Yeah, I'm still on track. But let's see. Had a good amount of retirements, but we still have quite a lot of cars running, I think. And they don't have to be in front of me to win, so who knows? It's going to be really interesting to look at the results after. Focus on the prize right now. A lot of coasting here. This is the third one there. I always think it's the second apex, but it's the third one. That's a windy corner. Hopefully a little less dramatic this time. I don't know if they just made the track less grippy here or something. It just feels so different. Alright. A few more corners on the mountain. A lot of understeer. To the final hut. Kind of think about it as the huts. There's, I think, 6. Whoa, how fast they're coming in. Alright. Come past Kate's cottage and head to Craigneyba again. Out of second gear. Out of first. This one, it's one of those corners that, whoa, you look like you could always go quicker, as I totally missed the apex there. We're good though. There's a little fence on the left side that you're staring straight at. That wasn't a good corner. Always looks like you can go quicker into that corner though, but even that entry wasn't good. I come up to Brandish. This corner's been changed. This track is modeled in 2005 specification of this track. And this corner is actually a little less severe these days, and the berms on the sides have been taken down so you can actually see past it, so it's a bit easier now. But it's just different because this track's modeled as it was in 2005. Through the bottom of the hill, we'll head up to Signpost Corner then. On the brakes here, first gear. So this will be the end of the third lap, meaning we're halfway. I can't believe we're only halfway. Ooh. Down to first gear for Governor's Bend. Still running wide. Come on. Don't want to hit the wall there. Say hi to the boys standing there. Don't lose too much time, but just understeer like crazy. Maybe a bit too fast on the entry. Kick it out onto the front straightaway. We'll complete this lap and set ourselves up for number 4. Across the line, what do we get? 21:30. So that might have been my best lap yet, because the pit stop itself was like 56 seconds. It's right on pace, though. I pretty much have done identical lap times. Tough to tell what the time would have been without the pit stop, but oh, we got another car. Juan Me's out, so that's another 5-liter. Yeah, if we can finish, I mean, we will absolutely get 5-liter points today. Get it slowed down for Porterbridge. So early on the brakes, it's just so different on a few laps later. Appreciate folks watching today. Hopefully fun. It's terrifying for me. every moment of this, you can't really relax. We'll come to the only real part of the track where you can relax, this straightaway here. After we get through Union Mills. Oh, Nicholas, that was the car behind me. So Nicholas is out. That's another one of the 5-liter cars. So we still got Scooby, we still got Jackson, but that might be it for 5-liter. Come through Union Mills. Yeah, there's only going to be a few of us left in the 5-liter. You can't score points if you don't finish. That's one of the rules of championships back then and also this one. So you got to finish to get any points outside of qualifying points. All right, come up. Go here, tow it in. It's really fun to try to almost take that flat. I haven't been able to ever take it flat. I haven't really tried, to be honest, but you can get right against that outside wall. It's it's a thrill, but it would be a little too scary for this race. I think Jackson has been quicker than me this whole time. I don't know why. He seemed to have started about a minute ahead of me, which is fine. The time starts when you exit the pit, so there's no advantage there really, but he's pulled out at least 30 seconds on me, I think, since the very start of the race. So I have a feeling he's really cranking in some laps right now, but we still got half a race to go, so plenty of time for stuff to happen. I just need to concentrate on my own pace here, down to second gear. Little car jumped sideways there a little bit. Right into the long right-hander here. There we go. Braking here. Rebuzz. Yeah, there's no way to tell. I mean, if you're watching, I don't know if I thought I saw a message that the broadcast might have broke, which would be unfortunate, but there's no way really to tell who's winning. Unless you had, we're monitoring all the lap times. But that's how it would have been for something like this anyway, too, in the time. I suppose if you're in the scoring box, they might know. Certainly the driver would have no idea, so you just kind of drive and see what happens. I can only go as fast as I can go, right? Ooh, slide down the hill. Car had a bit of a tank slapper there. We're all right. Oh, Frank. Oh, no. Man, I'm pretty proud of Frank for making it this far, though. I know he had some challenges with the sim earlier in the week with it crashing and things, and so it looks like he was able to get to halfway, at least, so... But sad to see him drop out. Right through now, towards Glen Helen. I want to keep it tidy here. Almost seems like I'm babying the car, and I guess I am a little bit, but it's not a lot of full throttle time through this section on a good lap anyway. It's one thing you learn with older cars is they have a lot more than full throttle and no throttle. You spend a lot of time at half throttle and such. Down to first gear, into Glen Helen. I'm going to check my pit stuff here as we get onto the concubody. We'll be pitting at the end of this one for our final pit stop, second pit stop. I just need to increase the fuel amount and get it up to third gear. Alright, take full fuel. For some reason in the garage, you can't set it to take full fuel. Maybe just an issue with the mod, I don't know, or Factor 2 most likely. Alright, come out the concubody. Whoa, car got a bit sideways there at the top of the hill. The second gear, nice and wide. Cut it in. So we gotta go to the left here. Go to Handley's. Second gear. A bit early on the third shift, it just felt right though. Be flat then, up to Barragero. Bit too fast on the entry. Clenched up for a second, but we're good. Alright, rush down the hill, up to fourth gear. Oh, through the bottom of the Barragero. Still not flat. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it during the race. In qualifying, it screamed through there in third gear, but there have been times where it's gone wrong. Right, late apex here. Did Frank blow his engine? I don't know why I'm reading chat. Should not read chat. I said this in another stream though, it's like, I hate live streaming and not being able to look at the chat, because what's the point? But I guess you get to go for a ride with me. Ooh, I see a car up there. Interesting, must be one of the slower cars then. So we'll have to negotiate some traffic. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Crew is once again ready for pit stop. No thanks. Gonna come through the end of Kirkmichael, get ourselves set up for Bala Bridge. This is a tough section if I was to catch whoever that is here. I have to imagine maybe they had damage in the pits and had a really long pit stop or something, but yeah, I'm gonna probably catch him on this run up to Bala Bridge, which is not where I want to catch a car. This is such a tricky spot, but we'll take our time with it. This is part of it, and the whole reason we're doing this like this instead of asynchronous is to actually have to deal with traffic like you do in the real ones. It's no fun doing it all alone. Alright, I'm gonna have to wait behind him here. Oh, he's going to let me by on the right. Slowed both of us down quite a bit, but it's alright. Alright, no problems. I wish we could wave to each other. I don't know who that was. Looks like they don't have a paint scheme for some reason. Alright, over the jump. So we put a lap on a car, which means after I finish, if I finish, we're going to have to wait at least 20 minutes or so for the final car to finish before we can look at results and all that. Come to the left here. Yeah, so I definitely lost at least 3 or 4 seconds there, but in the scheme of things, that's not too bad. Better to be safe. Right, coming to the quarry bends. Late apex. Down to second gear. At the curb. Help you turn. If you don't get it though, you will absolutely understeer off there. Nice code honking. Yeah, I don't know why my pit crew is saying they're ready for a stop when I'm 18 minutes away from them, but we'll just request it again as we get closer. Alright, right before the light post here, hard on the brakes. Down to first gear. Ginger Hall. And onto the bumpy part. On the second lap, too, I gotta remind myself the car is not quite as nimble. Whoa, Sal is out. I did see them write in the chat earlier, which I don't know how you would do that while you're driving, but alright, flat out here, third gear. Triple left-hander coming up. A tank slapper in the middle of it, which is nice. The first gear. I'm very slow coming into here, but I found it hard to find the sweet spot, so it's either way too fast or way too slow. I guess nimble, the car is more nimble on low fuel, but it understeers like crazy, so it's not fun to drive anymore. It is fun racing a car over a whole season, though. You learn everything about it. I know so much about this car now. I know what all the adjustments do. I know how to drive it really well. It's fun like that. Whoa. Curbing caught me there, almost ripped me off the surface, but we're good. Break down to second gear. Schoolhouse corner up to Parliament Square again. It's all starting to blur together now. I'm very, very happy I have that lap chart, because it would not be hard to forget what lap I'm on. I do hope everybody doesn't... I hope nobody stops after 5 laps, because their thing says 6. Squirrely there through Ramsey. Come through Kank up to Ramsey then. The Ramsey hairpin. Whoa, sliding so much there. No, it's going to be too fast. Hit the wall pretty good. How does that happen? It didn't feel much faster than other laps. Let's hope the car is straight. I can't quite feel it yet. I think it is. It's just a bonk into the brush there. It didn't feel like I was going much faster than previous laps. The car just, I think I locked up and maybe panicked a little bit. I don't know. Alright. Try not to let it distract me too much, but that's our first real contact with anything. Bonked through the hairpin. Very slow speed. Ugh. Yeah, we're good. The car feels fine. I have to see if I have damage on the little chart. I'm not going to fix it if I do, because the car feels fine. Alright, gooseneck now. It's tough not to let something like that affect you, but I just got to keep at it. The mountain then. That was so weird. I don't know what happened there. I'm sure in post I'll see clearly that I braked at the wrong spot or something. Right, if that's the worst thing that happens to me during this, then that'll be fine. Sideways, trying to get a little speed onto the mountain here. Alright. I do have some body damage, or maybe some more damage. I'm not going to fix it though. I don't think the car is hurt very much. It would just take a ton of time in the pits. Alright, over the mountain mile. Head up to Black Hut. The mountain boxes. Brake right after the stone wall. Down to second gear. Windsock fully deployed right now. There. I thought back at Spa, I might have actually had quite a bit of damage. I don't know if that's why I was so slow there, but it could have been. Could be. Who knows? But from that first lap shunt, I definitely got damage and I never fixed it, so I don't know if it hurt me the whole race or not. I think this track's much more about driving, so as long as the car feels okay to drive, then damage is fine. Alright, we'll come up to Bungalow. Alright, we gotta remember to brake up here. Gear for this left-hander. I think it's just part of that second lap, low fuel, and I probably broke slightly too late, locked up the tires, and there's really no turning at that point, so I wasn't able to turn in for Ramsey. Third apex. There we go. So we'll be pitting for the final stop this time. Just taking fuel again. Slide through windy corner. Corner. Just take fuel and have to do 2 more laps of this. Oh man. Thought about making this race 4 laps originally, which feels really good right now. But we'll be able to hopefully get to the end here. There's still quite a few cars running, I think. Just dancing the car there around. Very, very slidey in the moment. Right down to second gear for Cates. Down to first, slide it in. We'll go in the pit lane this time. last 2 times through Craigny Ba haven't been very fun. Oh, I see another car up there, so we're actually going to pass a few cars. Come up Brandish corner here. Cars up there. Interesting. Alright, we'll put the pit. Request our pit stop. An FPS drop at the bottom of the hill there. Super tentative on the car right now. There's not a lot of confidence in it. I gotta get my confidence back after that hit in Ramsey. Alright, cruise ready. There's no one coming at you. This is good. At least the cars in front, hopefully they go and you won't have to pass them so soon or something. Try not to understeer through Governor's Bend for once. Or Governor's Bridge or whatever it is. Not the best entry, but it's way better than the last couple laps. Where's the wheel? There it is. Alright. Coming out onto the straightaway then. We'll go to the pits this time. Get at this board. Brake. Put in first gear, try not to run over my pit stall this time. Come on, stop. That was better. Alright, 42 seconds, need water again. At 2036, that's not too bad. With a crash in there, and it was also an outlap, right? So many messages. I can't talk right now. Right. Appreciate everybody watching. Hopefully fun. It's such a tough race. I'm starting to really feel it at this point. We've got just 2 laps to go here. There we go. There's a car going by. That's that one I passed earlier in the lap. We'll exit here. And we're already on the next lap. So I'm going to have to pass the Maserati again, but it's alright. So we're in the final run now. Just 2 laps. No more pit stops. Just get to the end here. 1 mistake. Larger mistake so far. Lots of little ones. And the pace is good. I'm happy with it. I want to challenge Jackson, and like I said a few times already, if he's able to do that qualifying pace the whole race, you know, more power to him. I don't think I could finish if I did that. He's gonna let me by before Baden Bridge. Yeah, cool. That's hopeful. So really no time lost there. Getting around the Maser. It might be Treo. I think one person had a problem with paint schemes. No, that's fine. It's not a big deal. We just wanted to avoid all of the cars having the same paint scheme, because there's only one Maserati, there's only one Maserati paint scheme by default. So every car would look the same if we didn't do our own. Second gear here, Union Mills. Almost all right through there, right up on the curb on the exit. I missed that second apex ever so slightly. tough not to put it into too much of a slide there, but you do need to slide the car a little bit to make it. Kind of set it sideways on the way in. To the leap here, 162. So I'm like a mile per hour down on normal speed, but that could be for a lot of reasons. Might be damage though. That's not too bad if it's only a mile per hour, because we're not top speed very often. Second gear here. The thing you worry about is if you come around a corner and there's a car just stopped in the road or something. Cross our fingers it doesn't happen. Seems like I might have a couple cars to pass, but if they pass the pits last lap, which they did, they'll have to pit at the end of this lap, so maybe I'll catch them and pass them then. That would be ideal. Come up to Griba's here. Second gear. Bollock crane, flat through this right-hander. Second gear, all the way down to first. Apparently that's a pub on the left side. There's a lot of pubs around this course. Plenty of places to stop for a pint if you've got engine issues or something. Down the hill then. Second gear, turn in, on the throttle. That one took a long time to find the line for. Oh, our car got squirrely there, we're all right. The weight shifted. And a first gear for Laurel Bank. Very, very wide entry, it's good though. Very late apex. You kind of want to late apex every corner in this car, if you can. Double right-hander here. Maybe missed the first one. No, that was the wrong line. Don't miss the first one. I haven't been able to make that at all yet this race. Past Glen Helen. Try to get a good run here onto the Concuvati again. Double right. Shift up to second. Use that as a lift as well. There we go. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. It's just YouTube and the bitrate. It's the trees around this track. Pretty much as high as I can go, so. Hopefully it's not unwatchable, but it might be a little blurry in the forest sections. Alright, we'll come down here a little later. It's better. Out of second gear. Up on the curb, it's not too bad. Get on the throttle. To Handley's then. Done all right through here this far. Keep that trend up. That little white sandbag on the exit I visited a couple times. Got that corner wrong. Alright, Barragaro now. Slower on the entry to it. It's all right. Still lifting. Yeah, with the higher resolution, it should hopefully be all right. But it's hard to stream this type of track. Dundrod is going to be the same way, unfortunately. Come over the hill here, late apex. Made it to Kirkmichael then. So about a lap and 2/3 to go for me. Buildings. Oh, Nikolai. I think this might have been their first race, if I'm not mistaken. Quite deep into it now. Now you go from feeling bad because somebody had an incident early to thinking, oh, they almost made it to the end and then had an incident. Right. Flat out now to Barragero. I had a little bit of a lift there. No cars to pass this time, which is good. Oh, big slide. Kept it in it though. I like to avoid the show stuff. That's what qualifying is like though, the whole way around. It's just a lot of sliding. Oh, that was a bit more than I asked for. Down a second gear for Bala Bridge. Over the jump. Quarry bends then, just before the red sign here, off the throttle on the brake, get a nice late turn in, back on the throttle to help it turn, down to second gear, then try to get this curb on the inside, there we go, hard on the throttle for the Selby straight. That's such a fun corner to get right. It was pretty close to it, it's a little slower than you could possibly go, but the right lines at least. Alright, Selby. The telephone pole here, jump on the brakes. The Selby Bridge down to first. The same thing that happened to me at Ramsey could happen at any of these really slow corners, so I'm just gonna make sure I get those good. I've had a lot of slow speed accidents here, as well as high speed ones, but the slow speed ones always kind of boggle your mind. The car is very slidey. I might be losing some tire grip a little bit. That might be why I'm sliding around. Like I said, I actually haven't ever made it to 6 laps. I never tried really to do 6 laps offline, so kind of in uncharted territory as far as tires go. Hopefully, I should have no problem making it to the end. We're talking maybe 10% wear by the end of the race, but probably feel that. Alright, on this bumpy section, going up to my hated corner here. Third gear. Easy in. You can take this flat, honestly. It's just, it never works out well for me. Alright, down to first. Just nick that curb on the inside. Work towards Schoolhouse. Where I was for a second there. Just the mental dictionary of corners failed me for a second, but we're alright. We're coming to Schoolhouse Corner now. Or the corner to get onto Schoolhouse straight, at least. Here we go. Right-hander. It skips out onto that curb again. I did that last lap, too. We'll come up to Schoolhouse Corner itself here. Second gear. And then Parliament Square, Ramsey. Down to first. Another easy understeer corner. But try to get through Ramsey itself this time without any hairpin, without any drama. The sweeper. I went up to second gear last time, and maybe that was some of it. Just a little less torque to get it slowed down, and hard on the brakes. Yeah, and no troubles this time. So I don't know. I don't know what I did. I'll watch it back. It's so annoying. All right, we're up to Waterworks number 1. And 2. Really late apex there, right up to the wall on the outside. We'll head up to Gooseneck. Just need to watch this one. Really had a wide entry onto it. Man, the car is so slidey now. I think this last lap's going to be pretty wild. Low fuel and a little less grip than usual. It's a recipe for something. Through Gooseneck. We'll get it up to the mountain. Definitely starting to feel it now. Mentally more than anything. It's just a lot to remember. The Targa Florio is going to be something else in these cars. I've already done the Targa Florio, if you look back a couple months, maybe a month or so, in GPL, but those cars are a lot easier to drive. These cars are really hard. And I haven't done a ton of practice yet in this car around there, but I don't know how that's going to work out. It's going to be a long one. It's just 3 laps that, but it's the same distance as this, so, or time-wise at least. This is a much longer race distance-wise. It's a very fast track, Isle of Man. All right, get it onto the mountain mile. If you're interested in joining us for any races, or just want to drive this stuff, the rule book in the description of this stream's got links to the mods and everything. It's all free if you have rFactor 2. And you can try your hand at driving this track. It's so rewarding, but it is very tricky. It takes a lot of practice and a long time to learn, even as minimally as I have here. There's a lot left to learn though. Right past the wall there on the brakes, second gear for Black Hut. Really slow. I feel like I'm slowing down. Oh no, Ervin! Ervin drives a Gordini. So late in the race too. They're likely on their 5th lap or at least 4th lap. Too slow there. I feel like I'm just slowing down a lot, but it's like preservation in the car just doesn't feel quite as nice. Oh no, Richard, the strongest name in sim racing. Richard as well, man. A few folks here deep into the race. I don't know what that leaves us, but I still think we have a lot of folks. I was a little pessimistic, I think, with my estimates. Just based off what we had at Spa, and that track being considerably easier than this. Although you do have to race other cars. Bit of an early 3rd gear there. Just gotta make sure I brake for this one. Down to 2nd. You can see a lot of messages coming through. I can't read them. Hopefully it's not something about everything being broken. much other company for this. We'll have plenty of time to look at stuff after the race, because I think it's going to be at least 25 minutes for the last car to finish. Maybe more. Down to second gear. Oh no, I should have got it into first there. We're going to slide. We're going to hit the wall. Oh, that was a hard hit. Steering is a little bit crooked. I'm so gutted. I've messed up that corner, or come close to it every lap. Yeah, my steering is to the left a bit. Let's see how it feels here towards the end. I really don't want to pit. That would really take a lot of time, but that was a hard hit. The car is not undrivable, but the steering is definitely crooked to the left a little bit. To the end of the mountain. Yeah, I think I have to try to tough it out and drive with crooked steering the final lap, because stopping to fix that would likely take a minute. I just can't afford that. I know Jackson's, I think he's quicker than me, so there's no... Yeah, windy corner, it's just, it feels like a slow speed crash. I think I was able to say before I hit that I'm definitely going to hit the wall. Yeah, I gotta tough it out for the last lap, so hopefully I can figure out how to drive this wounded car. We'll come through Craigney-Bah. It's not super far off. I don't know if you'll be able to see. It's less than 5 degrees to the left, but it never feels nice driving a crooked car. In real life, the whole car would be a goner from hitting a stone wall. Down to second gear, slow it up for Brandish. Steering. Yeah, it was a pretty big hit. I've done that a whole bunch of times too, so you never want to make the same mistakes twice. We'll live with it. Alright, focus in. We still have a whole lap to do here before the end, and a lot to lose still on the line. Up to signpost, car feels a little awkward. First gear. Get it right around the curbing there. Tiptoe down to Governor's Bend. Not to understeer straight like every lap, and we do it again. I think there's just like a drop off on the track there, and it's so tight the tires just have zero lateral grip, so it's alright. We didn't hit anything through there. Alright, coming to the straightaway and start our final lap here. One more lap. Even though it says 6, we have to it started at 2 for some reason, so we gotta come over the line and do one more. Let's see what this lap time is. 21:28, so that might be my quickest lap yet, despite the bonk there at Windy. But I had about a minute pit stop going into that, so let's try to put a solid lap here and end things strong. Through Bray Hill, up to Quarter Bridge. I'm most worried about these jumps and stuff just because the car is crooked now. Ooh, a lot of skid marks on the road. I didn't see any car. I didn't check the pit lane if there were cars there when I passed, so don't know if we've got traffic. Oh, I can see one car actually ahead of me there. Yeah, the slow corners are the scariest. See that message at least. This car is just not good at slow corners. I mean, the fast corners are scary enough as it is, but yeah, there's a lot of technology. A lot technology has done. Very close to the post there. A lot technology has done to improve like slow speed handling with cars. We were able to go really fast, quite quickly with the automobile, but turning the automobile and slowing it down, that took a long time. Came really close to that light pole. It was a bit uncomfy. There's a few, some of them are not solid, but some of them are, so you can't hope that the light pole isn't solid. Don't try racing this with the Indy cars. Yeah. I think the sweet spot for cars around this track is maybe something 10 decades or so, or 10 years or so newer. Something late 60s, early 70s, sports cars, probably a lot nicer around here. Alright, up to 4th gear. Come through Crosby. Last rest section for a while. It's so tense this whole race, I can feel it in my shoulders. I think this is the Ukrainian Volodymyr. So, try to find a way around. I'm gonna catch him here through a tricky section too, but we'll just try to get past. No heroic. Down to 2nd gear. I mean, to make it this far, he knows his way around here, so we'll just try to find a good place to squeak by. Let's get transfixed on him, do my lines. It's likely these lesser powered cars are as quick as us through the corners. It's the straightaways where I can go a lot faster. Maybe squeak by him before Gribas. Oh, Dion, no! I feel real bad for anybody now. Alright, there he goes. Up the inside, I'll break around the outside. There we go. Nice, that's perfect. He did a really good job at that. It's exactly how we wanted it to go. You don't have to jump out of the way, but if you get a car coming up behind you, you should just stick to the left side and let them pass. Textbook. We'll use that as a clip for the target race. Alright, come down. Ball crane. Final time through here. 2nd gear. Then at first, when I was a little kid, I had a Duke video, I think, of one of the TT races from the 80s. There was a good shot of all the bike riders just getting right up to that wall. I remember that really well. It's like a super clip of all these drivers going through that corner, riders going through the corner, and just coming up to the edge of the wall. Tip it in here, we'll head down to Glen Helen section. S. Oh, I missed the 2nd apex there. I actually got that every other lap. Down to 1st for Laurel. We are on ice now. I've got no fuel. I've got 5 lap worn tires. It's gonna be an interesting end to this one. I'm gonna tiptoe through here. Oh, I ran wide. Come on. Done that the past couple laps now. It's just not my day through here. Down to 1st, just help the car be a bit more stable and slow down, although fishtailing coming up to Glen Helen there. I'm trying to get the throttle down, come up to Konkivati. 2nd gear. On the throttle for the straightaway. Trying to not to slide the car too much because it also just feels a little weird being slightly crooked steering. 3rd gear then. Alright. Lifted there for some reason. Come over this hill. Down to 2nd gear. Really slow through that. Alright, Handley's corner. Got the grass here on the inside. Just dip on that. The wall. Avoid it. A little bit of oversteer in the exit. Slide the car over the top of the hill there. The thing you hope doesn't happen is that it slides and then grips up while you're turning the other way, and you'll just send it straight into a bank. It's happened many a time. Alright, come to Barragero. Third gear down the hill. Get it up to fourth. Nice and easy there. Lifted. Never did it flat this race, but better safe than sorry. Close to flat. Alright, down a second gear. Top of the hill here. Yeah, the car is just slidey. So slidey now. Just caught it. Missed the apex though. Right at half tank of fuel. This is where the car's good until about 1/4 tank, and then it really starts to be hard to drive. So I have that to look forward to. Coming to Kirkmichael. Slide it sideways. Third gear through the town. Onto the petrol station. The gas station, as I would call it, before I receive hate mail. Alright, just need a nice run through here to set me up for Bala. Oh no, Matt Wright. Matt was, he might have been the quickest behind Ascari. He was right up there. I think he might have been the quickest 3-liter, if I'm not mistaken. That's crazy. Alright, we're on the flat out straight towards Bala Bridge. It here. The car is so slidey. I'm going to do a security lift here. I slid through this corner so hard last lap, and with the tires the way they are now, I just don't want to chance anything. Here we come, Bala Bridge. So lose a little bit of time on that straightaway, but it's all for the best. Over the jump one last time. We'll have to see who got the furthest jump. Give him some kind of trophy. Third gear. Head towards Quarry Bends then. Just a little bit easy through there. Make sure we got the corner over the hump. For the second turn board, there it is. The gas, brakes a little bit, turn in on the gas, second gear, a bit earlier on the turn in there than I'd want to be, but not a bad exit. Get it onto the Selby straight. Past the church. To Selby Bridge, so we're getting there on this lap. Still quite a ways to go, a lot of tricky stuff ahead, and of course the mountain, which is always tricky. Second gear, down first for Selby Bridge. Was a little bit slow on the entry. I slowed down better than I thought I would. We'll ride the curb a bit on the entry, lay down some rubber on the exit. Keep it in first to Ginger Hall. Right at that hydrant sign, jump on the brakes, turn it in, get back on the gas. All right, on the narrow, bumpy stuff now. Get up to second here. Cut to the inside, right against the curbing. Over the jump. Third gear. Alright, just need to make it through this terrible corner one more time. And we'll be through it, finally. No time for celebration. Alright, triple left. Then on the brakes, oh, I didn't quite get the blip that time. You could hear the tires lock up there. Towards Schoolhouse then. understeering a lot. I got very little grip left. I'm surprised that they're wearing as much as they are. It could also be the damage, I don't know. A little bit easier though into Schoolhouse straight away. That Schoolhouse bend itself. Just nipped the curb there. We're all right. All the way down to first gear for Ramsey. Slow corner here. No. Oh, that's really no good. That was a hard whack as well. I don't know what I did there. Just zoning out. I don't know how the car is okay after that. All right, come to the hairpin and try not to break it some more. How did I hit that wall? I've gotten that corner perfect all the laps up to this point. That was a whack and a half, though. Making a lot of mistakes here towards the end. It's definitely a brain fade moment there. Do the double right-handers at Waterworks. I don't know how the car is not more bent up. In fact, I might have actually straightened out the steering from the hit at Waterworks, or Windy Corner. That's Waterworks. Right, just keep my head in the game as much as I can here. I gotta finish this. Scrappy or not, we're gonna get to the end. No, the steering is still crooked. But it's... feels almost identical to the car did before I whacked at there. Alright, first gear. Oh, just wheel spin all the way up the hill. Not so long to go now. I just gotta get through the mountain here, and the mountain's tough, but hopefully get through it without any more dramas. Car feels a bit messed up now between all of the 3 hits during this race. I still have all my wheels though, and they're relatively straight, which that's all I could hope for, I guess. Alright, onto the mountain mile. I see one car up the road, so we might have to pass one other car before the end here. Keeping in third, flat out mountain mile, up to Black Hut, or Mountain Box 1. Chicane there, right after this stone wall on the right, hard on the brakes. Second gear, nice and straight line, brake, turn in. Around the second apex, hard on the throttle. Just try to dance the car out of it. Yeah, catching another car here. It was pretty slow on too. To let off the throttle, come on the inside. I'm really narrow. Oh, that's very uncomfortable. But I was able to get around. That car is going very, very slow. I think is that Austin? I can't remember. The paint scheme. I don't know how long it's going to take the last car to finish. It might take quite a while. Alright, down to second gear. Slide the car through there. Not a lot of grip, not a lot of weight in the front of the car. Crooked steering. A lot of excuses for myself at this point, but it is not easy to drive. Right, through Bungalow. more of these scary corners to go with the bollards. Gotta remember to brake here. Coming in. We don't have it on super crazy weather, but it does change a little bit throughout the race, which is kind of nice. Second gear here. Alright, we'll come to windy corner. I gotta get this right on the final lap. I think I just broke a bit too late, and I did not get down to first last time, which is one of the issues. Down to first gear, keep it on the inside. Oh, the car in front runs wide. Oh, he's gonna spin and hit the bollard. Squeak by on the left. That was a hard little hit there. Okay, something exciting for the final final lap. Alright, second gear here. Come to the final mountain corner up to Kate's cottage. Just dip on the dirt. Second then. Around the top of the hill. Here we go. Breaking by in front. Just don't want to get ahead of myself. Still plenty of corners to go. The second gear. Down to first, a bit early on the brakes for Jernej. Trying to do a nice late apex. I can't quite get the four-wheel drift. The car is just a little messed up in the moment. All right, we got Brandish in front, and then through the end of the lap. Here, it's nice and easy. It's way easy to go too fast through this one. There we go. Slide it out a little bit. Up to third gear. Bottom of the hill, just before this bridge. Get off the throttle. On the brakes a bit. Get it nice and turned in. On the throttle again to help it turn. It's a bit late there. Late on the apex. We'll head up the hill. Hit that first apex so you can get the second one here. I miss it a bit, but we're all right. All right, down to second. As soon as the road straights out there, and then down to first for signpost. Right against the inside curb. On the throttle then. Hard braking for this left-hander. I don't know the name of this one. Right out to the bank though. Second gear, you can carry a lot of speed through this. I'm just going to take it easy here. Alright, come to Governor's Bridge, Governor's Bend. Nikolai exiting. There's still some drivers retiring here. Alright. Final couple corners. I cannot believe it. I'm so happy that I finished, at least. Try not to ball it up here in the final corner itself. Get a nice run into the straightaway. It feels like a win to finish. I had a few incidents there, especially in the last couple laps, and I'm not happy with that as this ski actually retires too. We'll come across the line and see what the final lap time is. Keep it in second gear there. 2:35.9. What a race. What a race. Yeah, it seems like Jackson had a really, really good run. And congrats to him if he was able to get the victory there. We'll try to work it out here in a little bit. Who won? Can't do it too early, but if 10 minutes goes by or 12 minutes or so and a car hasn't won, they probably won't then because they started about 12 minutes behind us. That's such a tough race. Mentally, it's all mental. It's just a lot of corners and things to keep in your mind. You have to remember more corners around this track than the Targa Florio. Targa Florio has more corners. It's much longer, but it's also a lot slower. Which I'm dreading in the car here, but it's a lot slower and there's less corners that you have to remember there. When we were working out doing some laps here this week, I wrote down a list of corners that I think of every lap, and it's like 55 corners a lap out of the 219 that you need to prepare for. And such a tricky one. We'll park it up here though and exit the car. Exit to monitor. Appreciate folks sticking with me. I'm sorry if it was a little crumbly with the yeah, we got DNF. We're gonna get DNFs, but that's fine. Sorry if it was a bit crumbly with the bit rate. That's just how YouTube is around tracks like this. It's really hard to make it look nice with how much you can upload. So we can look here at my laps. 6 laps. Oh, I can't believe I did it. 6 laps. Fastest lap I did was a 2:34 or 20:34. I keep saying 2. It's a 20:34, but I think my 5th lap I think was actually my quickest because I had a pit stop, so it's about a minute. So I think I did about a 20:28 on that, which is only 8 seconds slower than my qualifying lap. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think my first lap was a little too cautious. But it's the first lap, you got to be careful. My best optimal lap would have been a 20:26, which I think is respectable. I'm not happy about a few of those crashes there. A few of the crashes were not good, but... Alright, let's take a peek here. So, I'm going to look at Jackson's time, but it's not just us competing. I guess maybe it's just us for 5 liter. It looks like he got a 2:26 fastest lap, so I think he's gonna get the fastest lap, and that was his final lap. 20:32, 20:28. I said 2 again. 21:22, 20:28. Honestly, not. I mean, he was quicker than me, but not that much quicker. Not that much quicker. How is the sweating? Sweaty. It's pretty sweaty. Yeah. Okay, so these are all the DNF means they're done or crashed. Anybody that doesn't have a DNF yet is still driving. It looks like Scooby might have just finished his race. I'm so happy. I mean, for anybody that's doing this, but if anybody finishing, it's a great accomplishment. I don't know what we're gonna do here for a little while. I will take a quick break, but what I'm gonna do here is put try to put a camera near the start-finish. You can watch some cars come through to finish their races with the nice music in the background of the announcer. Yeah, I'll leave like a camera here. How am I gonna do this? I'll fix it in a second, but I'll leave a camera here so you can watch everybody finish, and then I'll be back in a minute or two, and then we'll I don't know, we'll figure out something else to do, but I'll be back in a second.
And your preliminary top 5 is Jackson, Jake, Scooby, Isidoro, and Mark Ziedler. So that's almost confirmation of what we should get for the actual results, but they'll all be made official later on through the GP Laps Discord and YouTube channel, and I'll probably put them up as well just to give you an idea of what's happening. And I've actually got GP Laps in the interview waiting. Oh, that's a big crash for Hyler. Very unfortunate thing to happen right at the end as he uses his Robot Wars self-righting mechanism to get the car going again. As we can now actually speak to GP Laps as we had Hyler roll in the car. Jake, how you doing?
I'm exhausted. This was by far the most tiring thing I've done in sim racing ever, but I finished. So
yeah, this was all your idea.
It was. I decided to put myself through this for some reason, but it seems like I have very little idea about what's gone on so far, but it seems like things have gone all right. There's a lot of folks still driving, but everyone was able to start, I hope.
Yeah, we had I think we were down to like the final 50% of the grid come the end, so about 16, 17 retirements, almost 18 as we almost saw on the stream. But Hyler has just crossed the line. But the question to ask is, how long did it take you to get a lap in before not stacking it, as it were?
I've been racing around this track. So this track came out for Grand Prix Legends 2017, 2018 maybe. And that's when I first started driving it. And I mean, this is the first real competition I've ever done around here. But around that time, 2018 or so, was the first time I ever did a full lap without crashing. But these cars are a different world entirely around a track like this. And so, yeah, it took many a practice lap to get one of these cars around here successfully. And I look back even a couple of weeks ago at the times that I was doing, and it's crazy how much we've improved. Everybody, the times are unreal. How fast folks are going around here.
Yeah, I think Jackson's pole time was nearly 5 seconds faster than you, and then you had a Ascari in the middle of the 5-litre class in a car that should have been slower. So to see everybody getting the times in and seeing where they were and how a lot of the classes overlapped, which is what we were kind of expecting, really, given that this is more of a driver's circuit than a car circuit. We've still got a few drivers coming through to the end of the lap. So how do you think this is going to translate for Targa Florio, which is probably going to be even more crazy than this?
Could be more crazy. In a way, the track at the Targa Florio is actually a bit easier to drive. I'll knock on wood saying that. Yeah, it's a bit easier just because it's more slow speed. You really need to know where you're going around this track to be able to pull off a decent time. Where you definitely do at the Targa Florio, but I was talking to folks that around this track you probably need to know 50 of the 219 corners to reasonably do laps. There's 50 corners that look different than what they actually are. Around the Targa Florio, I bet it's similar. 50 corners, maybe less. So that's why I say that one's easier. Longer track, but less laps. They're all it's going to be about the same length of a race, anyways. So yeah, it'll be fun. I'll feel a lot better about it though, because we actually know we can pull off something like this. So
yeah, I think this is probably the first time that anybody's ever tried this. So for it to go well, and for as many people to finish that have finished, it's looking good for Targa Florio. And with Dundrod next up, how are you feeling about that?
I think that'll be good. Dundrad's going to be kind of wild. It's a head-to-head race again, but it's on a very similar track to this. The circuit looks almost identical. It's just a lot shorter. So I don't know if we've seen any issues with folks passing folks, but I know I ran up to a few cars during this, and getting around is a bit of a project for both the passing car and the passee. So there's going to be a lot more of that. We saw.
Yeah, it was fun from what we saw. So everybody was well behaved, and any crashes were driver error or computers not wanting to keep up. So the driving standard still, in terms of like actually car on car, has been very, very good this season, and hopefully it carries on for the rest of it.
Yeah, I hope so as well. I think it will. But yeah, that one's going to be tricky because of the head-to-head racing. But excited for it, and excited to get some of the other folks back in here too. But we'll see how this one all plays out.
But the whole season's been incredible to watch. So thank you for putting it on, and hopefully we see you doing very well for the remaining races.
Thank you all. Excited to see what the results are.
Thank you. So that was GP Laps, the man who made it all happen. And
all right, I did a quick interview there. I know they've got a lot of time and stuff to fill. I'm curious to see how they did with the broadcast. They're throwing them a bit in the deep end to do a broadcast of a time trial race. But it seems like we might have figured out some ways to get some of the timing working during the race. So hopefully you could hear the broadcast and everything. But yeah, seems like they're going at it. So folks are still finishing, but I do have some prelim results. So let me figure out if I can share that somehow. Right as their lap times. Let's see. I might actually be able to get some results here sooner than I was thinking, because we still have a handful of folks to finish, and it might take them a bit to finish before we can actually get the full final results. I am very happy to have finished that race, but it was tricky. I see. Okay, so let me see if I can get the results shared here with you. We'll switch to this for a second. So these are prelim results, meaning they're not final in any way. We got to do a lot of verifications and make sure that. Let's see here. Oop, wrong things. There we go. We have to do a lot of review of results and make sure, you know, everybody's laps were counted and there's no extra time being added for some reason. It's a little bit weird to read, so let me do this real quick before we go through that. Let me see if I can copy this out. I don't know if I'm reading this correctly. Ian, I might need you to help me. My admin. Ian, big shout out to Ian, by the way. Ian just volunteered to help me admin my Discord and has turned into one of the most helpful people. I think that's just his nature, but he's so helpful in not only running the Discord with me, but also he's done a lot of work on this season for me. And I'll tell you what, I don't pay him a lot to do this. Meaning, I don't pay him anything. Alright, I think I might have figured this out. So we only have results for a small number at this point, I think. Okay, we got 9 finishers so far. So this is super early days for all this. So keep that in mind. By far, we're not done. Make a little sheet here. Do spreadsheets with GP Laps. All right, I'll be able to show you here in just a second. I just wanted to make it look a little more understandable so that it makes a little sense. All right, let me zoom in, see if we can zoom in a bit. So this is real early days for results, but it looks like Jackson beat me out by 1 minute. Not a lot. I am beat. Yeah. If I sound tired, I'm tired. This was a really tiring race. But yeah, it looks like Jackson beat me out by about a minute. So this column C here is total time. Again, I hit the mic for the first time. very, very much preliminary results. There could be somebody still driving that could win, technically, so keep that in mind. But it looks like in the current finishers, Jackson has beaten me by about 50 seconds. Over 6 laps with 2 pit stops and all of that. That's really close. You'd have to try to compare maybe distance to distance, how close that would be at a smaller track, but I have to think we finished very, very close to each other. Scooby finishes, I think this might be the first race Scooby finished this year so far, which is amazing. I'll get some points on the board for Ferrari for him. So that's just behind, about a minute or so off, or 2 minutes almost. No, minute and a few seconds, minute and 20 seconds. Then Isidoro finishes. That's one of the 2-liter, 3-liter cars. Yeah, we can actually look at the lap times here too. So this is lap 1, lap 2, lap 3, lap 4, lap 5, and lap 6. And then the last column is a total. So it looks like I'll go side by side with Jackson and me for these laps. So he got, I was right that my first lap was slow, because he was 12 seconds quicker. Jackson kind of came out of nowhere though, so I did some racing with him at Spa in one of the practice sessions, and it was really good. We were kind of sliding back and forth. But I know I raced against him at Rouen, and I think he had an accident pretty early on, or some internet issue or something. It was an internet issue, he didn't crash. And then what happened to him at Longford? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened to him at Longford. So I was happy to see somebody new up front too, but he got the better of me here. So lap 1, he gained a lot. He gained 12 seconds on that 50-second win. And lap 2, about 5 seconds on me. Lap 3, 8 seconds on me. So it's pretty steady the whole race. I never beat him. I didn't have a single lap that was quicker than his head-to-head. So really, really impressive. That's so impressive to be able to go that fast for that long. Really, really nice. Good stuff. All right. So we look further down, Isidoro. So let me just remember what car Isidoro is finishing. Okay, Isidoro in a Bristol. No Bristols made Spa. That's an absolute legend of a finish there. So 0 Bristols actually made the race at Spa because they were just too slow of a car. They drove their heart out, but they just couldn't make the grid. And to come away with a potentially fourth overall in the Bristol. Again, there's some more folks to finish, but that's crazy. That's really, really wild. Mark Zeidler then up there with, and I mean, okay, Isidoro is only 2 minutes off of my time, maybe 2.5 minutes or so. That's crazy in a Bristol. Mark Zeidler then, he started pretty up front. That's a Mercedes with a 2:08.36, 2 hours, 8 minutes, 36 seconds. Eduardo's been quick all week. Happy to see that from, I think he's Brazilian driver, Gordini driver in the 3-liter class. So he finished, or has a tentative 6th place right now with a 2:10. Darren with a 2:10 as well. I always pronounce this name wrong, Maisi. But they did really well at Longford. 2:11 now. And then Montas right now is the final finisher at the moment. Let me see if this is updated since I pulled it originally. We'll check real quick. We'll keep it up to date. But yeah, I think we've still got a couple to finish. Not many, actually. So, wow, we had so many finishers. I'm so happy about that. We just have 2 cars out there right now, so we can. Doc is still running. Doc's right near the end of the lap. It looks like Trailgat's the last one on track right now. So we'll watch. Hopefully, won't give Doc a scare. We'll watch Doc come through the finish here. Just got a couple corners left too. Hard on the brakes here. I'm so happy. For the most part, I think this has gone well. Technical stuff and everything. Really gives me a lot of confidence for Targa Florio as well. Things are going to go a bit better there. Or not even better, just, we know how to do this now, which is good. But comes Doc through the final few corners. He's driving an Aston Martin, I believe. Painted up Irish colors. Alright, here he comes through the final corner, Governor's Bend. I'm so happy for him. He had like a lot of problems in practice, and I know had a lot of anxiety about doing this race. So to see him finish is big thumbs up. Anybody who attempted this, I have a lot of respect for you. There he comes across the line. Slappy finishing. All right, we got one more car out here. So where are we at? Let me just pick him from the menu. So Trailgat's the last car on track, and I think still got a little bit of ways to go. Okay, he just got off the mountain, so not too many more corners. Yeah, if you're Tony, if you're interested in joining, the series is open to anybody, but the thing is you have to qualify for the races, and it's not easy in a way, it's very competitive, so just keep that in mind. But if you're interested, in the description of this stream is a manual on all of the rules and everything, and that has some information about how to join. And so anybody's welcome to join. I think, we've had almost 275 folks sign up, and it's tough. So I think there have been a set of folks that sign up and they try the cars out, and then they wonder why they did that, and then they move on. And then there's a lot of folks. I mean, for Spa, for Longford, we had over 100 people trying to qualify for that. We had a bit less for this, but there were some that chose to sit it out because they just knew this isn't for them. And then there were some that tried it and then realized they weren't going to be able to learn the track in time. Because if you didn't try learning this until this week, which I know a couple folks learned it this week, that would be a lot of work. You'd have to do a lot of racing. Yeah, you're more than welcome to join. Our next race is going to be at Dundrod. And I was saying this in the interview with Aidan, if you're able to hear that. Dundrod, very, very similar circuit to this, just much, much shorter. But narrowness, collidable things, very, very tight tracks. So that's going to be a tricky one. But here comes Treo Gap across the line to finish. Final finisher of the race. So everybody has finished. So we're just going to let him exit the car. I think he has. Yeah, I was actually a little bit backwards in time. Very exciting. All right, so now, now we do a finish. Let me just make sure we're good to finish the session. Cool, and we'll take a look at the final preliminary results, but we will... Oh, you know what? I'm not an admin. That would help if I'm an admin. Give me a minute here. All right, so I should be able to finish the race, I think. I'll finish the race. There we go. I can't remember how to end it. This is the worst. All right, so it should be done. Race should be done. We can take a look. Big shout out once again to Ian. I think he has the preliminary results. And so we'll take a look through these before wrapping up the stream here. All right, so here they are. Jackson is the winner of the race. Jackson wins in the Ferrari with a 2-hour, 4-minute set of 6 laps. So impressive. Congrats to Jackson, because that is some wild racing. Myself, so far, finished second. I'm happy with it. I wish I didn't hit the wall a couple times, especially the one at Windy Corner. Ramsey, all my crashes were so weird. But the one at Windy Corner, I know better than that. That was a big mistake by me. And that one really messed up the car there. But 2:05, 2 hours, 5 minutes, 30 seconds, so just 50 seconds or so behind Jackson. Scooby finishes third on the podium in the Ferrari with a 2 hours, 6 minutes, 53 seconds. And that's our podium. So 2 Ferraris. Ferrari's going to come out on top with the manufacturer's points through this, but I will hold Jag in there at least. Hopefully I get some more help for the next one. I don't know what our Factor 2 is doing in the background for me, but... Alright, this should be done. Alright, but Isidoro then, 4th position in the finish. Again, driving the Bristol. Incredible time. He is very much hustling that car, but that car definitely more suited, and I would not count out an overall Bristol win for Targa Florio. That track's going to suit that car so much more. We're going to really be I'm going to be struggling so much at the Targa Florio in this thing. If you saw how bad the slow corners were today for this, so imagine a track that's almost entirely slow corners. That's going to be a tough time. Isidoro in 4th. Mark Seidler finishes in 5th. Eduardo finishes in 6th. Darren Andrews in 7th. Ariel Diaz in 8th. Maisi, again, I gotta remember how to pronounce your name, but finishing in 9th. Rujatsu, who has won, he's doing really well in the points right now, finishing in 10th. Silverwolf finishing 11th. Mantas finishing 12th. I believe, hold on, I believe Mantas is driving the, let me not misstate it, the Lagonda. So we had a Lagonda actually finish, which is so awesome. So driving the Lagonda finishes there back in 12th. Toby Johnson finishes 13th. Doc Slappy, who we saw cross the line, finishing in 14th. Oh, and I think we have maybe the last 2 out of order here. So, yeah. Vladimir, who we passed at one point, finishes in 16th, and then Treogat finishes 16th. So Treogat's 16th, Vladimir's 15th. All right, so I think that's it today for this one. There's a lot of racing to go in this series. We've got a few rounds to go, 3 rounds yet. We're halfway through the series. We've got Dundrod coming up next month. We've got the Targa Florio coming up in November, and then to round things out, we'll be at Le Grand Circuit. You can guess which one that is. For the final round of the season, but major shout out to everybody that helped do this today. Ian and Liam, who did all the stewarding and everything for me, which it would not be possible to do this without them. We have got Just Race, who's did all the servers for this, which they've been helping out with the servers all season. So rock solid servers. I don't know why my camera froze there, but rock solid servers. Everything seemed to work fine from a technical perspective. And then of course SimplyRace with Aidan Milward and Daniel and all the folks there to do the broadcast. Can't wait to watch that myself. So that's it. Thank you for watching Isle of Man. That was a crazy time. I'm so happy I finished 2nd place, at least for right now. And we'll publish all the points and everything here in the coming days. But thank you for watching. Have a great weekend. I'll see you all next time.